Howdy, howdy. Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show. Welcome back and happy Wednesday. And I've got a surprise for you guys.
What's
Oh my gosh, it's Greg Powers,
up? What's up, y'all?
not Greg Tepper. How's it going?
Great. Glad to be sitting in the commander's chair today.
Yeah, man, this is our first show together. I mean, I don't think I've ever done the show without either Tepper or
It's our first solo
Ashley.
show together, but you did sit in
Yes.
for Pickle one time for This Week in Recruiting.
Yes, and I don't think you and I have done one with Tepper yet.
Maybe.
No, that was that week that
Yeah.
that Ashley was gone for sure. So, yeah, I think we have.
But it was the best show ever, so fans
It
are in
was.
for a real treat today.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I've got a pre-show topic.
Awesome.
So you and I, we kind of bond over our favorite drinks.
Yes, we do.
Non-alcoholic, of course. And those two are sweet tea and Dr. Pepper. More importantly, Dr. Pepper.
Yep.
And first I want to ask, are you more of a bottle or like are you getting your Dr. Pepper from like the fountain?
No, I like it out of a can, actually.
A can?
I love a can of Dr. Pepper more than any. I think it's the highest rated way to drink Dr. Pepper.
Interesting.
I do say like about halfway down, I want to put it in a cup of ice. But
Yeah.
like the first couple drinks out of it are awesome, and then I put it on ice.
I'm more of a fountain gal.
Are you?
I don't know what it is about it, but in McDonald's, that's the
Well,
best.
see, McDonald's has like a secret formula or something
Yeah.
to make their fountain drinks really good.
Right.
I'll vouch for the McDonald's Dr. Pepper, but it's a bit inconsistent, I find, like out of the fountain, maybe
Right,
at some
yeah.
other places. But the can is always like a go-to. You can depend on it, and that's why I like it out of the can, I guess.
Right. So I guess this kind of answered my last question, but I was going to ask Dr. Pepper, if you're getting it from the fountain,
Right.
where is it the best? Like the most elite fountain Dr. Pepper, and would you say it was McDonald's?
I'm going McDonald's one. Quick Trip, maybe.
Okay.
Number 2, because I really like their ice, and I can like control the amount of ice I put in it myself there, especially through the pandemic. It was like a go-to.
Yes.
And I don't know if I have a third, but I do have a very much more strict sweet tea rankings.
Okay. What's your number one sweet tea ranking?
Well, I've got 3, and they're all kind of semi-tied. Chicken Express and Taco Casa at the top.
Right.
And then Chick-fil-A is third for me. Chick-fil-A works into that top 3 mix when it's really good. But when it's not so good, it kind of falls off. I think it's a bit more inconsistent, but Taco Casa and Chicken Express are always banging.
Right. I agree. I do love sweet tea. Sometimes it's a little too sweet, so I have to mix in the
You're
half and half.
50-50?
I am, especially the half and half at Chick-fil-A is the best.
Okay.
Absolutely the best. Now, before we move on, if you can't have Dr. Pepper and you can't have sweet tea, what's your go-to?
Man, this is going to – I don't want to throw any shade on myself, but I do have a third, and it is like a consistent third, Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew. Now, that is something you don't hear very often.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like Mountain Dew is it's so you drink it for like the energy.
It's an acquired taste.
It is an acquired taste, but you get energy from it.
Right. And I mean, I think it has a high caffeine content. I've never done an energy drink.
Right.
So
You've never
I think
coffee or anything?
I drink coffee.
Right.
But
Like Red Bull.
I never had a Red Bull.
Okay.
Never had a Bang or anything like that. So I've never had an actual energy. I run pretty high energy naturally. So
that's pretty
but
self-explanatory.
one of our state 7-on-7 favorite moments was I was drinking a Mountain Dew at like 10:30 as we were trying to wrap up, and Pickle was like, how can you be drinking this Mountain Dew this late? And I was like, oh, this won't affect me at all. I'll be asleep in 5 minutes after I lay my head on the pillow. She's like, that's inhuman.
You've just become accustomed to it, right? Like
Right, it
it just doesn't affect you
Yeah, it
anymore.
doesn't fade me at all. What's your number 3 drink? If Dr. Pepper and sweet tea were off of the face of the earth, what would you turn to?
Well, first of all, I hope that never happens because it's like sweet tea. No, okay, Dr. Pepper, sweet tea, drop off, probably Diet Coke.
Ooh.
I don't like regular
Never had a
Coke
Diet
at
Coke
all.
before.
You've really?
Only if it was like a mistake, maybe. Like they gave
Yeah.
me the wrong thing. Maybe I've had it, but I've never ordered or like had a Diet Coke on purpose.
Really? That's interesting. And I don't really know where I got the liking for Diet Coke. I think maybe it was b- way back when, before I wasn't allowed to have like
So Diet Dr Pepper's
caffeine.
not in the.
Ooh, no, 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 no. I don't like Diet Dr Pepper.
Okay.
Mm-mm. I won't drink it. What about you?
I've never had it.
You've never had Diet Dr
No.
Pepper? Powers, we need to take a trip over to Market
so
Street after this
uncultured.
so we can have you try
I go straight
some
for like
drinks
the
and stuff.
high sugar. But that
Yeah,
was
yeah. It
great
tastes better.
pre-show. Great pre-show topic too. I'm now curious to think about what everybody else in the office thinks about our drink opinions.
And
because we're going to hear it as soon as we walk out.
Oh, for
of
sure.
the-
We'll for sure ask them as well. Definitely.
Hit the theme, Expo.
Let's go!
Free money! Free money!
Hey, how to sing blue thing. The shot glass in your hand.
Yes, y'all. That sounds so weird to say it like that. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. I'm Mallory Hartley. I am the Partner Services Coordinator for Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com or Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. I think that's all that we're on.
We're on Twitch.
Yeah, we're on Twitch. Or you're listening to us on the podcast vendor of your choice. Thank you for doing your part in supporting your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting here over at the helm, but sitting over there at the Greg Tepper Memorial Zone / Ashley Pickle Memorial Zone, because they sit there too. I don't know what it is. It's Greg Powers.
What's up, y'all? And there's only one memorial zone, and that's the Greg Powers Memorial Zone that is currently out of service. So we'll have to come up with a great name for Tepper's Command Chair, maybe, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it.
Welcome in, y'all.
Welcome in, everybody. Today is Wednesday, August 18th, and only 99 days until Thanksgiving. August 18th. Happy birthday to Patrick Swayze.
Wow.
Yeah.
Roadhouse fame.
Yeah, that was the only one that I kind of recognized on that list.
Really?
So, yeah, there were a bunch of like TikTokers.
Dirty Dancing?
No.
Oh, I get
Like
famous
birthdays.
people's birthdays today.
Yes,
I gotcha.
I was like looking at it, and I didn't really know. Yeah, I didn't know anybody on that list, so I was just like, you know what, whatever, we're gonna move on. So, this is episode 1222, and on today's episode, my friends, we will take a look at some of the top prospects in the Lone Star State with This Week in Recruiting. And in the back half of the show, hear Powers' conversation with Temple linebacker Taurean York. And I'm just going to knock this out right now. First four through the door, we have Russell Wilborn, Matt Stepp, Rob Hadaway, and Aaron Flynn. Welcome in, fellas. And our Canadian friend, Matt Stepp.
Can't wait to hear Stepp's comments on a Tepperless Texas football today.
Yes, I'm very excited for that as well. All right. Should I do like a little
Yeah, you got to
little
crack your knuckles
stretch
for it.
and do the little getting ready for the I'm Mallory Hartley. That's Greg Powers. And this is This Week.
In Cruton!
That was a really good one.
It's This Week in Recruiting, brought to you by our very delicious friends at Chicken Express. And I have to say, I've tried a new Chicken Express location, and I'm still yet to be disappointed. Shout out to the crew out in Jacksboro, Texas, for serving me over the weekend, and my wife. We both had a delicious lunch on our way out to Amarillo. So they really knocked it out. And We split a 7 tenders express pack.
Okay.
So I got the good side of that. I got 4. So I won, but we added the extra rolls. Went with the rolls, and then we got sides of okra and mozzarella sticks. And
Mozzarella sticks. Is that a thing at Chicken Express?
it is, yeah.
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
'em. Mini poppers are also good, but you travel around, and like if you travel around, do this football thing, and you're going around to all these different places, you eat at a lot of different spots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are inconsistent. I'm telling you, Chicken Express, always good. Haven't been up to one where you're like, wow, this Chicken Express isn't up to par. They're always good and
Right.
reliable, so that's what I appreciate about it.
Absolutely. They're very consistent. I think my absolute favorite thing from there is the fried okra. It's elite fried okra.
My wife is on Team Fried Okra as well. She tried to talk me into the corn nuggets this time. I just couldn't pull the trigger to get away from my mott sticks.
The mott sticks. You can't beat them. You can't beat them. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Our prospect on the rise this week is Frisco Liberty wide receiver Evan Stewart. He recently picked up his 5th star on 24/7 Sports and Rivals.com. The once upon a time Texas commit now holds offers from Alabama, Florida, LSU, Texas A&M. Needless to say, all eyes will be on him when he inevitably makes his final decision.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's kind of weird to say, Frisco Liberty's Evan Stewart is a prospect on the rise. That's not a common statement because he was always so highly regarded. But he has had quite a remarkable run as he's risen up the recruiting ranks based upon a strong offseason that saw him win the gold medal in the 4x400 relay, and he also took home gold in the long jump. He's
Jeez.
He's
an
I think
athlete.
he's silvered in the 200. Maybe I might be wrong about the exact event, but he won some other hardware at the state track meet this year, and he is an elite athlete at the wide receiver position. He was a true game changer for Frisco Liberty last year. There were a couple games where he didn't play, and you could see a remarkable drop-off on their production on the offensive side of the football. At least to me, it was a different style of offense without Evan Stewart out there on the field. And quite honestly, he's, to me, and there are some really top uncommitted guys, like our number 1 prospect in the state now is Denver Harris. Now that Quinn Ewers has been reclassified into 2021, he's uncommitted, and where he ends up is a guessing game as well. Alabama and Texas A&M are in the mix, but Evan Stewart is one of these recruitments that keeps everybody guessing, and that's why he's so intriguing. He's also like a viral commodity on social media. Everybody follows his accounts, and a lot of people are outside of even football are interested in where he might play his college ball. He was a one-time commit to the Texas Longhorns, so, Steve Sarkisian and his offense is always going to be appealing to Evan Stewart. I think he wants to sit back and see what they're really bringing to the table. And, he took official visits to Alabama and Florida. Florida may be a little bit of a sleeper on his list. I don't think a lot of people are going to put them up there with Alabama and Texas right now. But that's something that you really want to watch, right? That he took an official visit there. They're a serious candidate to possibly land him. I did a predictions piece a couple weeks back. I picked Alabama, and here's why.
Yeah.
I don't have any definitive inside information on why I selected Alabama, but I think the package of Evan Stewart and the power of what Alabama is bringing to the table from the NIL standpoint now is going to be hard for him to turn away from. I think that there's a combination there that really makes sense. Trust me, Evan Stewart's going to get paid and make his money wherever he goes, but there's a certain dynamic at Alabama, I think, that makes a lot of sense in my mind, and that's why I went with them. It was a total, we call them bold predictions.
Yep.
It was a bold one because I didn't have any necessary inside information, but that's what I went with.
Right, and I saw something there that said he's going to make his final decision coming up soon. I think sometime in the early fall.
Yeah, I think he'll take a look at some of the season. He still has some official visits available. It wouldn't be a surprise to see him take a couple more visits and then decide from there. We'll see.
Right. All right. Well, that was our prospect on the rise, Frisco Liberty wide receiver Evan Stewart. Now moving on to our commit of the week, Gladewater, wide receiver DJ Allen. He announced his commitment to TCU last week over Baylor, Arkansas, and USC. A big pull for the Horned Frogs. And he's a big-time playmaker for those Bears over there, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. DJ Allen is one of these guys that had a lot of scholarship offers. He took official visits, I think, to TCU, Arkansas, USC, and maybe also UCF, and then narrowed it down to like a top 4 of TCU, Baylor, Arkansas, and USC. But TCU has really put together some serious firepower on the offensive side of the football with the commitment from DJ Allen as well as the commitment from Matthew Golden, who picked up 4-star status over the state 7-on-7 evaluation. Allen is one of those guys who doesn't get probably seen in person as much as some of the other guys who play but clearly brings a lot to the table. He's a guy who can stretch the field when he lines up on the outside. He's a mismatch for defensive backs. He can run right by them, and he has a knack for being able to pull down big plays. But I love him in the slot where he can use that 5'11", 190-pound frame to shield people from the football, and he runs like a running back after he catches the ball. So this is a huge pickup for TCU with the perfect complement to
Horned Frogs. Shall we move on?
Let's do it. Staying in East Texas.
Staying in East Texas. Moving on to our underclassmen of the week, Carthage wide receiver Montrell Hatton. Now, my dude, another wide receiver.
Yep.
Another wide receiver. He's making a name for himself. He's named the District 10-4A Division II Newcomer of the Year last season. Has already picked up 6 offers to show for it. Baylor, Houston, SMU, Arkansas, Georgia Tech, and Ole Miss. Already showing interest in this young junior.
Yeah, and really he's a guy that Carthage is going to lean on this season. You know, they are going to have to replace some playmakers. They always do. But they're going to be a favorite to win the state crown again. And this young man is a huge reason why. They're going to be the reset button at quarterback. Whoever that quarterback ultimately ends up being, they have a couple of options that both of them are good. No surprise. So they're going to have the luxury of having a guy like this to throw the football. And that's awesome, for them. He's got 3 in-state offers already. I love to see that. Baylor, Houston, and SMU stepped up early for him, so I think that's just the tip of the iceberg as far as his concerned. He showed a lot to me at the state 7-7. He's already used to be a go-to guy that they could look to often. But I like to see his catcher. He has long arms, big hands. He plucks balls out of the air really easily. And he's a speedy wide receiver, but he's not a guy that I would say is defined by speed. So he has to lean on some of his other skill sets to make him an elite wide receiver while he checks all those outside of the speed category, which is fast enough to get the offense, right? I'm not saying he's slow, he's very fast. But he tracks the ball well. He has good concentration. Works the ball into his hands. He has a big catch radius and catches the football well with his body, which makes it hard for the defensive backs to and break it up. That's really why he's a high receiver. And I think he has a chance to be not only the best wide receiver in East Texas, he's going to have a chance to be one of the best players regardless of position in East Texas.
Absolutely. And this dude is an athlete. When I was looking up more stuff about him, he plays basketball, baseball, and I think he runs track and field as well. So he's included on all those sports. He's just an athlete all around and an asset to wherever he decides to go. Now, to round it all out, our recruit of the week is Fort Worth Brewer defensive tackle Bear Alexander. Yes, Fort Worth Brewer, not Denton Ryan anymore, a name that may sound familiar around these parts. He was a whole unit over there at Denton Ryan and went on to win a state championship for those Raiders last season. He was formerly committed to the University of Georgia, but now opened his recruiting back up and may have his eyes elsewhere.
Yeah, he's announced that he's down to 2. Texas A&M and Georgia does make the cut to go into that top 2. He called it a final 2, so it looks like this is the 2 schools that he's really going to be down to and really try to make a decision between. I just want to apologize off the top to Longview fans because Bear is a guy because he's transferred schools potentially, or he kind of got a late start within his junior season. The only highlights available from his junior season are these Longview highlights, and he's been a topic of our show multiple times.
He's been on here a couple times.
Right. So you get to see his highlights against Longview, and he had a remarkable game. So he kind of wore them out a little bit. So I do apologize for that, but just think about these highlights as you take them across a 6 or 8 game season, what they could be like, and why that gives you a clue of why he's such a highly recruited guy. 6'3", 325 pounds. He's extremely athletic, has a great first step, and he's a mismatch nightmare for interior offensive linemen. He's a guy who you look across when you're like lining up on the O-line and think, crap.
I got to
go against a dude that's nicknamed Bear.
Alexander.
I do feel like Texas A&M's in a good position, and here's why. I mean, he could end up recommitting to Georgia. It's not – I would say it's not a common thing. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's
For
not
sure.
common where a recruit decommits from a school and then ends up back at that same school. You have to mend bridges at that point, and that's why.
Right.
There are recruitments where that doesn't happen. It's amicable, and there's no problem. Both sides are still on the same page as far as everything is concerned, but it is more rare. And he decommitted from UGA fresh off of a visit to Texas A&M.
Gotcha.
So this is something that I think is it's worth merit when you evaluate this recruitment. I think Texas A&M could be in a commanding position here, and he would be a good fit, I think, in that 3-4 that they run.
And guess who is in a commanding position right now, taking hold of this show? I can do it too.
There
I
you
can
go.
do it too. He's Greg Powers of Next Level Athlete. Follow them on Twitter at Next Level D1 and follow him at GPowersScout.
G-Power Scout.
Correct. And Powers, don't go anywhere because you're going to be introducing our next segment.
Let's do it.
We are Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon talking football in the Lone Star State. We hope you, everybody watching, will become a subscriber of Dave Campbell's Texas Football at texasfootball.com/subscribe. And please do subscribe. We ask every week. You get a lot of perks if you subscribe. I mean, come on. You got so many perks. You get the magazine early. You get to listen to premium podcasts that you can't listen to if you're not a subscriber. I'm a subscriber.
I'm going to plug one. Subscribe now to get DCTF Rising in your mailbox. There's a lot of hard work that goes into that magazine, and I just want you to pull out, if you are a subscriber, pull out your past volumes. We're in a really good run of nailing down the next future stars. That freshman top 25 has been on point. By and large, any player who's been on that list is now a phenom. So if you want to know who the next up-and-coming brightest stars in Texas high school football and on to college football, now's the time to subscribe to get DCTF Rising magazine.
Absolutely. All right, Powers. Let's move on. Who'd you talk to this week?
We talked to Temple linebacker Taurean York, one of my personal favorites. He's a guy who started as a freshman. And this is an impressive feat at Temple because they have a lot of hard-hitting type dudes in their program, right? And he played inside linebacker, one of the most important positions on the field. And he's really his recruitment's starting to take off. He recently picked up his first offer from Texas Southern, and he has in-state schools like TCU, Rice, North Texas, and others really banging down his door. And I think with a strong junior season, you'll see him rise up the recruiting charts. Good gentleman, too. Really like talking to him.
Absolutely. Let's hear Powers' conversation with Temple linebacker Taurean York on Texas Football Today.
Greg Powers, TexasFootball.com. And like we do every week, I'm joined by one of the top recruits in the state of Texas. And this week it's Taurean York, man. Thanks for joining me. I know that you're gearing up probably for what is a big season out at Temple. You started as a freshman, like from the very first minute you stepped on the varsity field, you started to get a little bit of shine out there. What was it like that very first game? Walking out there playing varsity ball and being as young as you were, taking those first reps as a freshman linebacker?
It was really kind of emotional. Really, I'm not an emotional type of guy person, but it was really just like we were at Kelly Reeves Stadium over there in Round Rock, and we played Cedar Ridge, and it was just crazy. It was like I went from playing on Tuesday nights to playing on the Friday nights in front of 10,000 people. It was just crazy. It was surreal. I just try to soak it in and just enjoy the most of my freshman season.
You didn't get out there, put it any soft positions either. You see some guys at wide receiver, running back, and that kind of stuff playing as freshmen, but it's very rare to see a linebacker playing. And you wasted, no time in establishing yourself as one of the most ferocious hitters in the state. Do you have to have a certain mentality about you to play that position and come out of the gate strong like that?
Yeah, I think whenever I was at OU, Coach Parker Henry, he was telling us about how in order to play defense, you have to have a different mentality. You have have to have a kill mentality. It's things like that. It's a different mindset for sure.
Anybody at that position you look up to, pattern your game after it all? Is there like a linebacker that you really love?
I like Jordan Crook at Duncanville. I talk to him probably like every month or so. Just we don't talk often, but he always just gives me tips, things to work on, things to look out for, and just like a mentality thing. Again, we just have brief conversations.
I've been in the high school football coverage game now in Texas going on almost 20 years. And there's something about guys who play at Temple. They just have an extra little chip on their shoulder. I don't know what that's about, but it just seems like y'all are bred a little bit tougher. Can you just kind of talk about what it's like playing at Temple and being a part of that football program that has so much history?
I just feel like it's special, man. Like, the blue front white back pants, those will never go away. They've been around since the 40s. So I just feel like the tradition in Temple is big, and we feel like we just have to live up to what the past generations and past teams have done. So I think it's just like an extra chip on our shoulder just for us to work a little harder and just know that we have all eyes on us.
I saw the progression on tape, man, from freshman year to sophomore year, and I can see that you have it on the defensive side of the football. Colleges are starting to pay you attention. But why should they be recruiting you? What do you feel like you're bringing to the table that everybody should be paying attention to?
I just bring that the hard work, just like killer mentality, man. I feel like I'm just the hardest work when I step in the building. I feel like nobody's gonna outwork me. I feel like I just put all my time into football, man. It's like really it's football or nothing because I'm not good at a lot of other things. So I just feel like I have to go all in on football because that's what I'm best at.
Give me a food destination to go through there. I'm on the road all the time, man, and I'm going through Temple quite often. I'm in the area. Is there a place that I got to check out that isn't like one of those chain restaurants, or is there like a special place there that you think is pretty good to try?
I'll say Bird Creek Burgers is downtown, kind of near the high school. I'll say Bird Creek is pretty good.
All right, man, I'll have to give that a try. They got shakes. What are they selling besides the burgers?
Bison burgers.
They have bison burgers.
John fries.
Do they sell shakes?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think they
It's
sell
like
shakes.
craft burgers.
It's just craft burgers, things like that.
Oh, nice. I'll have to check that out, man. We're big on burgers. Texas Southern stepped up to the plate, gave you your first D1 offer. I know many more are going to be behind that, man. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to watch your tape and see that you're a true football player. But that first one always has to feel special because it's the school that stepped up and really showed you true allegiance. And, for you and your family, I know it had to be a monumental moment to know that, you know what? I'm going to college for free. My family doesn't have to pay for it. I don't have to pay for it. So what did it mean to you that day?
I mean, really just try to soak it all in and appreciate it. It was right before I was going to go out to dinner, but I mean, it was surreal, man. Just the love I got from all my family and friends, people like that, just showing me the love, just telling me that they believed in me. They knew I knew it was going to happen, things like that. So I was just proud of myself, but I was just proud of like my dad, my mom. People always push me to be better.
I always enjoy following your Twitter feed too, and I saw that you went to quite a few camps. I mean, the latest one that I saw you tweet about was Ohio State. I know that they're a team that's always in the national championship race. What was it like going up to Columbus and seeing like what a program that's playing at that type of level, competing on that type of level? Does that give you ammunition to say, hey, this is what I got to do to try to get here? And what was it like being in Columbus?
I mean, it was really just like a surreal moment. Like I went up there, just going up there for the experience, to meet the coaches. But like as soon as I got there, I got done my broad jump, and I take it off my cleats, and I get hit by a door. And the person who opened the door is Coach Washington, the linebacker coach. So we talked about it, and then I told him I was from Texas, and like that's something you forget because not a lot of people from Texas go to Ohio State camps. So I immediately stood out from that. And then I just had a great camp. It was probably my best camp yet. It was the day after my birthday. So maybe it was just, I don't know, just me turning 16, had something to play with it. I'm not sure, but I went up there. They just brought me back the next day for an unofficial visit. So they've been showing me a lot of love. And I just talked to them probably about 2 weeks ago.
Baylor, another big camp for you. They're a team that competes close to home. What was it like going up there and spending time with Dave Aranda and his coaching staff? I know that they have a very defensive-minded presence as the head coach there. So was it a little bit different getting to go up there and compete for a school that's, they're not always necessarily known for their defense, but it's starting to change now that they have a defensive-minded head coach?
Yes, sir, for sure. I like what Coach Aranda is doing up there at Baylor, the person of a player mantra he has. I just feel like that resonates with me a lot because he more concerned about the grades and what type of person you are rather than how good of a football player you are.
Outside of Texas Southern, got that first offer, which schools do you feel like are showing you the most attention? Maybe which one could possibly be next if everything goes right?
Baylor, Rice, and TCU. I haven't really got to talk to them a lot since fall camp started between us and the other schools like that. But I feel like if I have a great year, like the year I'm destined to have, like people expect me to have, I feel like schools like Ohio State and the other bigger schools will come.
When it comes down to it, I mean, you got plenty of time to look through all these colleges and try to make a decision. But what are some of the things that you feel like will be important to you when it comes time to not only like pick a team to play with, but maybe like a city to live in, a college campus to stay on?
Like coaching stability, how long has a coach been there, things like that. How long does he usually stay at schools? Does he have any opportunities popping up? And just the ability to play as soon as possible, because like growing up, I never really been on the bench, things like that. So it's going to be hard, especially because I'm going to be at the next level. So it'll be hard for me to just watch and see like people like not label me as a bust, but he's not playing right away, but he played right away in high school. So I just play where I could play, like not immediately, but play probably my first 2 years, things like that.
Hey, man, I just wanted to say thanks for the time. And just so everybody knows this, Taurean York is going to be one of the rare 4-year starters at one of the highest levels in Texas high school football. Really accomplished prep star, man, and big things are ahead for you, I know. So thanks for the time, joining us tonight, and being the featured recruit of the week at Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There he goes. That was Temple linebacker Taurean York.
I got a great nickname for Taurean as I was sitting here listening to his interview.
Do you really? Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Taurean, the tackling machine.
Oh, I think that wins. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
He's going to be racking up a lot of tackles for Temple this year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, do you have something that you would like to say?
Well, yeah. First off, I want to say Rob Hadaway, good call on Raising Cane's, Sweet Tea. I missed that earlier, so I was reading through the comments. Am I missing something else?
Final thoughts, maybe?
Oh, yeah, we got to do the final thoughts. America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts, and here's Mallory Hartley with the latest.
I just got a quick one. I know I just texted Ashley, actually, asking her if there will be a show tomorrow, and there will be a show tomorrow, so make sure to tune in at 11:52 a.m. tomorrow to, I don't know what we're doing tomorrow, or who's going to be here tomorrow, if it's me, if it's Tepper, if it's Ashley. I really have no idea, but I think we are going to have a show tomorrow, so just keep your eyes peeled for that, everybody in the audience.
Awesome.
All right, that'll do it for us today. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram at instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And follow us on Twitter at DCTF. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to our guest, Taurean York. For Greg Powers, I'm Marley Hartley.
Vince Young, come get your Player of the Year trophy. It's right here waiting for you.
Come on, man. Just come get it. We'll see you next time on texasfootball.com.